you are a very tall man. I mean, how you said you're 6'5"?
So I wasn't back then. I was actually going into high school. I was the shortest kid in my class. I always use this joke, so I'm sorry, but in ninth grade, the beginning of high school, I was 4'6", had size 14 shoes. I was a red nose, short of a clown. That's pretty much what I was. I like.
Did you trip over your own feet?
Oh my god, it was so bad.
I mean,
and then imagine
gigantic shoe size for being so
between
short
then
at that time.
Between then and my senior year, I grew to 6'2", 6'3" by senior year.
How about those growing
pains? I was
pains?
in pain.
Damn.
And my basketball shot was terrible because
you couldn't control your
every
body.
time I shot, it was like going further and further. I'm like,
growing.
oh wait, I'm growing. What's happening?
Growing.
Really
So
rapid.
I didn't really play high school basketball. My body was just not in a position to do it. So I played a little bit in college, but not a ton. I knew early days, especially after my knee surgery, and even regardless, I'm not athletic enough to be in the NBA, but so early days I knew I wasn't going to be an athlete, so I'd have to figure out another way to get into sports.
Which is crazy that you just hang out with the best of the best
Yeah,
NBA
and I rate
player,
them,
right?
and they are okay with my rating without being like,
I
who
still
the
want
heck
to
are you?
understand who came up with the diabolical rating system to pin
And
it
then
on you.
handed it on me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been kind of the role, I guess. Like people, I mean, I'll get
Even when
people
I
will
was
say,
told about you,
Yeah.
which is, it's totally separate and
oh,
apart
it
from
got
all of
pinned on you
this.
too.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Everything gets pinned on me. I don't care. But like I was told you did the rankings
Yeah.
and you were the heel persona, but that you actually did the rankings.
No,
Nobody said
I'm just
that
the
wasn't
heel.
the real thing.
I'm just the heel.
I feel like maybe after this, people will take it easy. on you.
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
They won't believe it.
Guys, I'm
either.
kidding.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny because people think I developed the game, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm doing content one day with Kevin Durant, then I'm going back to my computer to develop 2K. Like, not.
Are there
not
any
possible, right?
significant players who got really angry at you? And
over the years.
are there any fun stories that they would be okay with you telling?
There's a lot of really harsh ones.
But no, like one that maybe was angry at first, but turned out to be like a great relationship.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, man, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to think. Well, so Hassan Whiteside. This is sort of like where ratings took off, or where I attribute it to. So 2K14, so 12 years ago, his rating was terrible. It was like high 70s, not terrible, but not good. And he had this game on nationally televised game on ABC where he had a triple double with blocks, so like points, rebounds, blocks. And at the end of the game, they interview him. They're like, "Why did you have such a great game?" And he's like, "Oh, I was just trying to get my 2K rating up." And we're like, "Wait, what? Why is this your mindset?" But he was serious. And so the next day, he did a ton of interviews. It was like a historic game that he had. And he went on Mike and Mike, who you know probably pretty well. And they asked him, they're like, "Well," like Rihanna reached out to him. Like it was on comments. They're like, "Who was the most famous person or most exciting person that reached out to you?" And he's like, "Ronnie." And they're like, silence. You know, like, they had no idea who I was. And they were like, "Okay, well, next question." And it was just clear that this thing had become a thing. And then, him and I got very close over the years. But there's just so many guys, like, and now it's like, it's pretty well known that like, we don't give a lot of we give 0.99s out. Like it's a historical rating. So like Michael Jordan's the only 99 in our game. Sorry, LeBron. So they get it, like nobody's really mad, but they lean into it for fun. Like Kevin Durant obviously has been in the news the last couple of days for his Twitter activity, but like he does that, right? Like he will go after folks on Twitter to expand his brand marketing. It's funny that 2K has a point of view on like how popular you are with the fans, and this rating means so much to these guys. Guess what? It doesn't affect their money at all. It doesn't affect anything about their day-to-day, but it's
Perception.
amazing. Like they really, really care. So the most famous one probably is what happened.
Well, and especially if you're basing it on data.
Yeah.
Like
my usual response is, you want your rating to get better? Play better.
Oh, damn, that's
Simple.
No wonder they hate you.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. There was one in the most famous one was probably a couple years ago with Klay Thompson. the NBA had just rated him the 70s, not in this top 75 for their 75th anniversary, and we had lowered his 3-point rating to an 89, which now actually looks kind of fortuitous, but I won't get into that. See, I can't help myself. I gotta play a hero.
So
I can't help
naturally.
myself.
Sure, you don't do the ratings.
Yeah, exactly. So he was in an exhibition game with Steph Curry. They did like a 3-point contest in Japan, not in America, but in Japan. And so it's 3 a.m, and all of a sudden my phone just goes berserk. And they're like, Clay's talking to you about you. I'm like, what do you mean? It's 3 a.m. And I had forgot that he was in Japan. Basically, like after this 3-point competition that he won, he's like, Ronnie, I hope you were watching that. This is for you. Your ratings suck. Like on national Japanese television, and Steph's over there like giggling along, and like it was massive news. And then we got into like an online feud for a while. Draymond Green got involved. It was like a whole thing. But then
That's
like
fun.
I ran into Clay a couple weeks later, and it was like nothing happened. It was like he's like, oh, I remember when we all used to hang out like. Us the Warriors, because obviously I'm a local guy, so I'd see those guys all the time. And I was like, like, who's
Did that not just
manufacturing this? All
happen?
like, what just happened? Weren't we just like in a blood feud on the internet like 2 weeks ago? So it's fun and games, and it's
You
funny.
mean
to
everything's
be a part
not real that you read on the
of.
internet?
Yeah, maybe a little bit scripted. What can I say?
What?
Maybe it is. It's it's
Unreal.
WWE.
So
That's what
fun,
it is.
yeah, fun for me to say that.
Sorry. You could edit that piece of it.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. But amazing that this little number means so much to the most famous athletes in the world. When they're in Japan at 3 a.m, why am I living rent free in your heads when you're halfway around the world? It's
That's
crazy.
So I have to say, it's genius.
Like,
Yeah,
that's how
it
you
is
know you
genius.
made it.
I mean, it really is.
I mean, I think the WWE knows this better than anyone. Any conversation is good conversation to a degree, right? Like to a degree. The last couple of years, maybe that's changed. But you want.
But I
The
mean,
worst thing that
so
can happen
to
is
go
people
all the
not
way, like
talking
kind of
about
bring
you.
it full circle, right? It's like an investment is made in you as sort of this, kid who understands social media and marketing from a generational standpoint that maybe others didn't necessarily understand.
Yeah.
And you created a brand and a persona that ultimately became like the core of pop culture talk within the NBA. And I'm sure fans alike get equally riled at the, different comments you
They all
make or
have their
rating
fandom.
systems or what
Yep.
have you. I mean, it really is, it's storytelling.
Yeah. But just like you, I mean, you, of all people, understand. That's why I've always felt this kinship with you is it's a character. At the end of the day, anybody that comes up that's a 2K fan that wants a picture or a hug or whatever, I am totally different person. And then all the work we get to do with philanthropic stuff, like that's where you and I really connected, is everything to what we do. That's the reason that's the why,